Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate taking time out of your busy schedule, stop in and see what it is I'm up to. It's good coffee. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2020. We are starting our 16th week of safer at home, isolate in place, dealing with the COVID-19 coronavirus kung flu, a fiasco that's rocking the world. So, currently in Jacksonville, Florida, it is 87 degrees Fahrenheit outside, 70 degrees Fahrenheit inside. That would be 31 degrees Celsius out there and 21 Celsius in here. Humidity of, what's that say? 66%. That's high. It's yuck. Yuck high. That gives us a feels like temperature of about 10 degrees higher. We are also dealing with the worst air quality in over a decade, with this Sahara dust storm thing blowing around. They said our air quality yesterday and today is worse than Los Angeles. So it's way up there. It's in the red, and like they're saying, don't go outside unless you have to. And yeah, so we're limit time outside, etc., etc., etc. Supposedly, hopefully, this thing's all going to blow over by tomorrow. So, the dust storm, anyway. So I posted a couple of videos yesterday. I think you all realized that I got sherry legalized and out and about. A few things that went along with that were just getting it. I mean, first of all, getting to the DMV. Had the wrong appointment, apparently. You have to do registration and tag, and they think you mean a renewal. And yeah, so that was like, all right, go sit down and wait. And then the insurance. They've changed things around now where you can't just tell them, yeah, I've got insurance, and give them your old insurance company or whatever. They need an actual dealio from the insurance company. The insurance company is like, well, we can't find that VIN. What do you mean you can't find the VIN? I had the VIN verified. I had to have it verified. I was getting the title and stuff, or the title. I was going to get it done online, but we're in the mail, and ended up not doing that because it was going to take too long. But I mean, I had the VIN notarized. What do you mean I don't have the right VIN? So come to find out, because it's a conversion, it's not in the van category, it's in the big truck category, which also took my insurance and went, just what I need, right? So it's like almost 3 times what I pay for the brat buggy. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But so that was the first thing. Once we got it all legal and taken care of, I came home, put a tag on it, and went up to the corner. It's just literally up the corner, the next driveway up, and it's the gas station. But that gas station always has high prices. So, I mean, I was sitting on empty. I didn't know how empty was. So, I wasn't going to chance it, I stopped, I put $5 worth of fuel in. $1.99, so that was like, 2.5 gallons or something. And then I went to a station over by Bob and Swoosh that is usually lower than a lot of other places. At least the ones on Atlantic Boulevard. Um, and it was $1.88 over there, $1.99 up here. So it was like 11 cents cheaper. I started filling it up, and I was having problems with the batteries, so I left it running and let the batteries charge or whatever. And I had the door open, so I'm looking in, watching the fuel gauge, and I'm pumping in gas, and that fuel gauge, she ain't moving. Like, what? And I'm pumping and pumping and pumping. I'm looking at the pump, and it's saying $20, and I'm looking at the fuel gauge, and it ain't moved. And I'm like, I hope that gauge is busted. You know, I mean, Jay didn't tell me anything about that. You know, he's usually good about that type of stuff, and would have repaired it. But I'm looking at it, it's like $25, and that gauge ain't moved. I mean, it's still right down there on empty, and like, look again, it's all right. It's moved a little bit. It's up to maybe an eighth of a tank, and I'm pushing past $25, and I'm going, rut-row. I'm watching $30. It's just a little bit over a quarter of a tank. And I'm thinking, how much does this pig hold? Good Lord. So pumping. And finally it clicked off at $45. 23 gallons or something like that. So, what? But the fuel gauge still wasn't really registering. It was still registering just under a quarter. I'm like, this ain't good. So, I got rolling, and as we moved along, the fuel gauge came all the way up. So it came up to full. I don't want to be out riding. I've done that so many times, not having an accurate fuel gauge. There's a lot of ways to figure it out. You go by your mileage or whatever, but that means every time you fill up, you have to write down your mileage, and it can be aggravating. So, or you have to hit your trip meter, you know, the trip thing down on the bottom below the odometer, and keep it in mind how many miles you're allowed. You know, you can drive on a tank full of gas, and then do the division in your head if you're down. You know, you've only got a quarter of a tank, and so anyway, got that all taken care of, and just ba-doom. So I went over to my son's and got a new battery put in. Actually, my youngest granddaughter did she tightened up all the connections, so she was having a good time doing that. And I should have videoed it. It was cute, but I didn't think about it until afterwards. I've got a picture of her sister changing the tires on my other van, on the original Earlene. I had an Astro that needed the tires changed on it. So my son came over and changed the tires, and the oldest granddaughter was 6, I think, but she had to get in there, and she had the big tire iron, and she was tightening the lug nuts up, and the girls really like working on vehicles with their dad, or with me if I'm there or whatever. But they get in and get dirty all the time. So anyway, yeah, this weather, it's hot, it's muggy, the sand, the dust and whatever in the air, it's like super gritty. You taste it, you can feel it. So the figures. first weekend I've got it, Even out at the river last night, as gorgeous as it was, you could feel that air. You could feel the sand in the air, and I couldn't stay there long. Excuse me. I had to get back in, get the air conditioner kicking, and come back home. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually, slowly but surely. So there's still things I need to do. There's some things that I've done, and I'll show them off later on. But like on top of the center console, there's a place to put your cup. Well, my big mug that I carry all over the place didn't fit. It was the hole down in the bottom for the base was too small, and the rest of it was too big. So the cup was sitting there, and it would do this number every time you made a turn or whatever, and that ain't gonna work. Constantly every time you hit a bump or whatever, the cup does this number, and you jump and you reach for it, and that'll cause an accident. So I thought about it, and ended up taking an envelope, and this one of the Amazon padded envelopes, and I cut it and twisted it up and set it down in there, and it was like, that's a little too thick. So I ended up taking one layer off. So it's like, it's three layers, because this is, it's like a double layer. Like, anyway. Yeah. Having it doubled, so it was 4 layers, was too thick. So I ended up taking it down to 1 layer and then one side tucked inside of it and wrapped around. I put that down into the cup holder, and it works perfectly. It stays in place, and the cup fits, and the cup doesn't rock and roll. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that. There's a couple of other ideas I had to play around with. It works for now, so I may just go ahead and leave it. There is a way to going and using the foam floor pads, is what it looks like anyway. Real hard foam, a real stiff foam. It's not hard. You can still squeeze it, and make little pieces out of it, and put them around, glue them around the perimeter, and the cup will fit inside there. That's another way to think about. But right now, like I said, this way works, and it's good to go. Driving her is different. I mean, I've driven Ford vans in the past. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've driven a larger vehicle, period. And everything's different. The seating position's a lot different than it is in the brat buggy. There's a lot of stuff going on that you have to figure out exactly where the seat needs to go, and where the steering wheel needs to go, and even just how to keep her centered in the lane. Every vehicle is a little different than that. And when I was learning to drive, my dad taught me to look down the line of the hood at the white line or the line down the middle of the road. And when that line lines up with the crack in the hood, going up the fender, then you're pretty well centered in the lane. And that tends to work with almost every vehicle I've ever driven. You find it may not be a line in the hood like a big truck. There might be like where the headlight, the edge of the headlight meets the contacts that line, or if you drive a big Peterbilt, it could be where the edge of the hood comes down and meets the line. Just depends on where you're sitting and where your point of view is. But something like that's going to get you centered up in the lane, and then it's just a matter of figuring out where you're comfortable in being in that position. So I still feel like I'm driving too far to the right, even though the mirrors are showing that I'm right. So it's just a matter of getting used to the vehicle. I'm pretty sure, I'm sure of that. But in the meantime, I keep checking the mirrors and making sure that I'm not, over that right-hand line or whatever. So. I've had a couple of comments while I'm out and about with my homemade face shield. People seem to like it. They ask, I don't know why they ask. It's like, oh, can I use that idea? It's like, yeah, go for it. So I've also had a couple people ask, and right now I'm using the phone, so I can't show you, but I have the part on my phone, the silicone spider web thing that wraps around the phone, and then it's on a thong that goes around my neck. And I had 3 people in one day ask me about it, but I've had probably more than half a dozen people stop me and ask, how did you do that with your phone? I've actually got it saved on my Amazon thing. It's still in there. I pop it up and show them, look, I got this on Amazon, and then just add a leather thong to it. And it's not my idea. I saw it on an ad on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. But it was basically the same type thing, a silicone dealio. They had an extra little loop in theirs, and they sold it with a lanyard with the clip, just like you get for your ID cards or whatever. And I forget, it was some crazy price. It was $24.95 or $29.95, and I'm like, whoa, neat idea, but come on. So I went on Amazon and spent 10 minutes maybe looking up and found these things, and they cost, I think I got 4 for $6 or something. So $1.50. And yeah, just a piece of cord. I'm using a leather tongue, but whatever thick cordage you want, a ribbon or whatever you have that it's going to make you feel right about it, then go for it. So Swoosh really liked it, so I gave her one, set her all up, and she wears it all the time. She said that people have asked her. She's not out and about like she used to be, but she said a couple of people have asked her, where she got it set up. She's like, my brother-in-law gave it to me. I don't know. So, it works, for the most part. Other than the fact, like yesterday, I was walking around Walmart and the phone had swapped around to this side, and somehow I had gotten it open the phone and it had Dad showing. So, but I'm walking around flashing everybody my dad's phone number. Not that I don't think nobody really paid that much attention, but I need to remember to just shut the phone off before I let it hang. That's pretty much it. So not like walking around and checking out prices or whatever. And anyway, I'm sure there were other things I wanted to mention, I wanted to bring up, but we're going on 20 minutes now, so a few things I want to get done right here today. It's Sunday, of course, so it means I need to strip the beds down and the bathroom and all that stuff, which yuck. But there's a few other things I need to get done, and yeah, unfortunately, I can't get outside too much. But that too shall pass, right? Anyway, let me know what you think, folks. Give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up. Leave me a comment wherever it is y'all leave comments on your internet access device of choice. If you'd like to share me around your social media, that'd be fandoculous. If you want to check me out on Facebook or Instagram, excuse me, I'll have links in the description box wherever that is on your device of choice. I also have links to similar videos, and you'll find my email and my snail mail and yada yada yada. So, if your loved ones are nearby, give them a kiss and a hug. If they're not, give them a call. Hit them up on Facebook. Let them know you think about them. Let them know you love them. We ain't promised tomorrow, people. We ain't promised our next breath. So I see y'all again. I hope you have a fandoculous day. Sláinte, y'all. Bye-bye.